Viva Tequila Seltzer, the #1 hard seltzer in the world and the official hard seltzer of Day Drinking with Dog. Ditch the malt, add tequila. Welcome back to Day Drinking with Dog. I have a returning guest. It's been a year, right? Katie Hayes is back with me.
It's been about a year. Yeah, May of last year.
This is the National Mental Health Awareness Month, and you had reached out to me, and I kind of forgot that it was this month. You know, it's like every day something, every month something, and we gotta honor something. But this is one that is near and dear to both of our hearts. One, you work in the field. One,
I do.
I talk about it a lot. I deal with my own anxiety and other things. And so for the first half of the show, we'll touch base on what you've been doing in the last year of your career and how you've grown and what your positions are. And obviously, we can't really get into specifics of, clients and anything like that. That's a forbidden, yes.
Well, we do still abide by HIPAA, just like your pediatrician or your, neurologist or anything like that. We are still, in the health profession, so we do abide by, HIPAA and confidentiality. So I appreciate that.
Those damn rules.
Yeah, they're there for a reason, so that people feel comfortable and safe coming in and talking about the things that are hard for them.
What I find, I shouldn't even name names. Let's just say, let's just say I know people that go to therapy.
Sure. You're looking right at one.
Yeah. I'm not naming your name.
I'm saying, just because I am a helping professional does not mean that we don't need to talk about our own stuff with others.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's a good point. I know people that go, people that are close to me, and I've never heard of I don't want to say a bad experience, but I've never heard anyone say that it didn't help them or, it didn't like, I don't know how to say it. It's like, I know people that have gone to therapy that like didn't really like their therapist. I mean, that's a personal thing. That's like, not everyone's going to like everybody. I've had doctors I didn't like,
Absolutely.
But it's the same thing with therapists. But I've never really had, they've always said, it helps, And if you don't find the right one, don't stop looking. Like find the next. You've actually helped me in some instances find the right person.
Yeah.
And that's a great part of the. It's part of the, the steps of figuring out, what your depression or anxiety is really finding the right person.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it's really such a great message because you wouldn't necessarily wear a sweater if it didn't fit the way you wanted it to. You would, go to the next store and you would find it, or like a drink. Like maybe you have a drink when you're out.
Yeah, Viva.
And that was my little segue.
And you're not drinking with me. I'm drinking by myself tonight.
I'm currently not enjoying the Viva Seltzer, which I do enjoy the Huckleberry, actually. So shout out to those guys.
Nice.
They are my high school brethren, the guys that started it.
The Thurston boys?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They were on the Catholic school circuit like myself.
Yeah.
So when I heard that they...
big hockey boys they are.
Yeah.
Playing hockey, not just...
Yeah. So I was like, oh, well, I have to support my prep.
Yes.
My prep guys, yeah.
Yep.
But, so it's really important, like, to find the right fit. And I have had friends of mine come to me and say, like, yeah, you know what? Like, I went to therapy. I hated it. It was the worst. And I'm like, okay. And I respect that. Like, it's not necessarily for everyone, but it's also who you're talking to. But also, there's many factors. How much are you indulging? How much are you being yourself? Which is really hard when you're finding yourself being like, hey, something isn't right. I need to go talk to someone. And you go in and you're like, oh, I'm not telling them anything, or like, this isn't right. So you'll say, like, friends have said to me, no offense, but like, didn't work for me.
Yeah.
And that's fine. But also therapy, there's this illusion of like, oh, when you leave therapy, you're going to feel so great. Every time you walk out, you're supposed to be in a good mood. That is false.
Yeah, I don't see why that would.
It's like, oh, I'm going to therapy.
Because sometimes you go and you uproot shit you probably haven't thought of in a while, and that's part of the process.
That is, that is a huge part of the process. And it's like, oh, well, I thought it's like your job to make someone feel good. What am I, $7 million?
Right.
Like, no, it's not. It's to help you with the things that are hard for you to talk about. Or, you know what, like, hey, I'm having a lot of trouble with my time management, and that's why I get stressed, and that's why I get frustrated. Or, you know, people with social anxiety working on cues and coping skills to be around people. I mean, I personally have, self-diagnosed, but people would be like, yeah, you do, of social anxiety, where I will be in a crowded room and I will be like, I can't be here.
Right.
And if you don't know that about me, you'll be like, that's not true. You look fine. But internally, I'm like, I gotta get out of here. Like, I'm starting to get nervous. I'm starting to talk really fast. And if someone had said this to me, I'd be like, that will not help me. But what I say to people is, when you start panicking, you stop breathing. So when people say things like, just take a deep breath, it's like, oh, okay, but have you tried taking a deep breath?
Right.
Or have you tried taking a few? Because when you pause and take a step back, you're allowing yourself to breathe. You're allowing yourself to assess the situation versus reacting of where it's impulsive. It's, one of those things where it's like, oh man, I can't believe I said that. Right. Because you didn't take a second. So, there's all different tactic and different ways that we can assist people, but it is not my job. I'm not Jeremy's counselor. This is not a substitute for any therapeutic sessions for anyone listening. But it's not my job for you to come in and be like, I'm sad, and be like, oh, you're so happy. Like, look at that sweater. It looks so nice on you, and build you up. It's to unpack, like you said.
That's what your fake friends are supposed to do.
Sure. Yeah. Or your true friends that are like, oh my God, that shirt looks great, and I love that color on you. And I know I'm using a lot of fashion references. It's just coming to me. But that is what a friend or friendship does. And what friendship doesn't do is, one, have the training, but two, they know you in so many different ways. And when you go to someone with an objective opinion, they are only hearing you.
Right.
And that's what's most important.
What like if I were to come see you now, this is hypothetical.
Right, because I could not.
Right. And I have like an anxiety over, let's say, taking a photo and putting it on Instagram.
That is a direct example of my fear.
Wait, that might have been why I brought it up.
Oh,
yeah.
Whose session is this? No one's.
Hey, I have a degree in drinking, I think. That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, and criminal justice.
Amazing.
Kind of a weird, no, seriously though,
yes.
like you wouldn't take, like last year you were on the show and I literally, and I'm not making fun of you, I literally saw the panic in your face.
Yeah.
When I was just gonna do like a quick selfie, throw it up on Instagram. Yeah. Let's go. Let's talk mental health.
Yeah.
And you like ran out of here.
Yeah, you saw.
Then I had to go find your fucking professional photo on Facebook or whatever. Yeah. So what upset me about is that kept me and my beautiful bald head out of the promo picture.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely
have we overcome that fear?
I've got.
Are we doing a picture today?
We are going to try. Okay. And we are going to. We are going to.
We have to.
Whatever the outcome is, and it's interesting you bring up like from last year to now. Is, we're still talking about the same topic, but there's such different perspective. And it's almost like when you watch a movie as a kid and then you rewatch it as an adult and you have such a different perspective, but it's the same movie. It's the same message, but you're receiving it differently. And a year ago to now, like I said, like I do my own work. Like I have Chrissy, amazing. I have my own therapist. And it's really helpful to, just to figure out why. Like, why am I freaked out being in front of a camera? And why am I feeling this way? And it's very much what I just said. Like, hold on, let me take a breath and be like, what is going on? I'm in a safe place. I'm with a safe person. Like, I'm okay and I can do this. And me putting myself out there and coming back is actually the work I'm doing through my own therapy, and just wanting, a safer, healthier, more well-rounded perspective and life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say, like, I always talk about this show as being therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
Would you say your own job, outside of you going to your own therapist, just doing your job is a little self-therapy as well? It depends on who you're with, and there might be some that stress you out more than, and then actually give you, a good feeling about what you've accomplished with a certain person. Yeah. I can imagine it works in all different directions, but...
Yeah, it absolutely does. And are there common themes within whom I'm speaking to and my own things? Yeah, absolutely, because human beings share so much, and they also share the things that are difficult for them. So, have I worked with people that have lost a parent? Yes. Have I lost a parent? Yes. So, and every helping professional is different, and when you're in session, they're not your friend, they're your client. So when things come up that are similar, it's easy to want to be like, oh my God, me too. Like, right. I felt that way when blah, 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 what happened with me? And it's like, no. This isn't your friend, but you're human. And you have reactions. And there is sometimes a tactic that we can use of just like a safe, like, self-disclosure when it's beneficial for the client, of saying, like, in a very gentle way of, like, right. Mother's Day can be very difficult. I have experience with that. Versus like, oh yeah, like my mom passed too. Like, how are you doing? It's like, this isn't your friend.
Well, no, that's
this isn't your friend.
But we got something in common.
Yeah, it's like, what happened? It's like, no. But yeah, it definitely aids in your own journey, for sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I can imagine, and I bring, someone like you on. It doesn't matter who really I bring on in the show, but it gives me a good hour or 2 hour escape from, believe me, my life is not very stressful, but, I think the most important thing that I lack is the ability to sleep.
Yeah.
And it really affects me on like my girlfriend. She'll like go to bed at, like, say 9:30.
Yeah.
And she's asleep at 9:31. and it's like she'll sleep like 9 straight hours, not wake up, and I'm just like, I don't think I've ever done that.
Yeah.
I just had a upper GI and a colonoscopy, and they said, you're going to be out for like 45 minutes, and I said, you know what? Can you keep me to like 2?
Actually,
give me a good 6 hours.
Really get deep rest finally.
That's good.
Yeah.
I don't. I even take Ambien, but the problem with that, the problem with that is it's just there's a hangover. You're a little groggy in the morning.
Yeah.
God, the night before my procedure,
I
had to get a fucking wink of sleep. Just spinning around, head's spinning, and and it's not even a big deal, but it's funny how
it is a big deal.
The thing. No, actually, it's funny. It's one of those things, like, you have anxiety leading up to it, and then when it's over, you're like, what the fuck was I worried about? Like, that was easy.
Exactly.
I went in there, they put an IV in, and I fell asleep, and I woke up, and my friend picked me up, and I went home.
But it wasn't the physical things that were happening. It was the mental and emotional things that you connected it with. Whether it was, you had a bad experience, and not everything leads back to childhood. I'm just using this as an example of, like, that one time in 7th grade where you had to go to the doctor and the doctor couldn't, they bought the wrong needle in, and then you had to wait 10 minutes and you got anxious, and now you associate that with going to the doctor.
Right.
I don't know.
No. Me, no. I've never had a problem with needles or...
But it's a medical procedure.
Right. Right. Well, I mean, yeah, I'd never have a colonoscopy
Yeah.
done. I've had an upper GI done, but I was just like,
Yeah.
and on a brighter note, I think I brought this up last week, but everything was good.
Okay.
And then I told my doctor, I don't know if you've listened in the last couple of weeks, but real quick, went on my cruise, drank this Flow water.
Oh, okay.
All my stomach ailments went away during the week. Got home and they came back.
Wow.
So then I did research on water, and I'm like, there's no way it's the Poland Spring that I'm drinking every day. And sure enough, I quit drinking Poland Spring, and a friend of mine bought me a case of that, and then I switched to Avion, and now I have it's called a Dylan. It's almost like your Stanley.
Oh, okay.
But it's called a Dylan, and it has a filter in it.
Oh, wow.
That filters alkaline into your water.
Okay.
It's like you could just use normal tap water and let it sit for about 20 minutes and put it in the fridge or whatever. And my stomach's just been like, great. So I wake up.
Incredible.
Right. So I wake up and the doctor finally comes in and, tells me his findings and shit. And I tell him about the water shit. And he like totally fucking just blows it off. Like, no, that's not it. And he said, this is exact words were, well, I found a polyp in your stomach, so that's what's going to make you, we cut it out, that's what's going to make you feel better. And I'm like, no. I've been feeling better for the last 2 weeks from not drinking crap fucking water.
Right.
And he's like, no, that's not it. And then I did my own fucking research and realized this is why doctors practice medicine. They practice it. They're practicing. They're trying to get better. And then I kind of made a snarky remark to him like, oh, I guess you don't want to be in the New England fucking Journal of Medicine with my findings on water. Like so this is like another thing that I want to relate back to what you do.
Yeah.
Is like the doctor you can't get into my head.
No.
And he actually physically went into my body.
Right.
But at the same time, he doesn't know how I feel.
Yeah.
And when he like poo-pooed it, I was just kind of like, wait, dude, no, seriously. The nurse was so much better because I was talking to her before my procedure about
Shout
it.
out to nurses.
Yes. And I don't know if I can mention her name. Is that a HIPAA violation if I'm the patient?
If you're the patient, you choose.
You know what? I don't fucking remember her name.
We'll get
She was
into
pretty
that,
blonde
but you choose what you want people
from
to
Guilford.
know.
But she told me you should really filter your water, and I said, I have a Brita at home. She starts laughing. She's like, no, not that crap. No, you really got to invest into a real filter. Some of them are fucking $5,000, $3,000. So I bought this thing online for $50, and it's the little filters you stick in the bottom of it, and they last like 3 months, and they're probably $15 a pop, and I don't know. It's been going good,
and it's changed you. But just going back to what you said about the doctor it was really invalidating, and that what it sounds like again. Not Jeremy's therapist, is not a session, but what it sounds like
you don't have to keep saying that. People know.
I'm just reiterating. I won't anymore. I might, but is the fact that second the doctor dismissed what you said, you lost any hope, faith.
I just thought he was a dick about it.
Reason to trust him or believe him.
Right.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why he wouldn't.
Listen.
Maybe I was just coming up from my fucking deep 45-minute sleep I had. But I just felt like the way he brushed it off so quickly, like if I was a doctor or in any kind of field, whatever, just talking to a normal human being, just at least take it in what I'm saying, like be like, that's interesting. Keep that up and see how it goes and let me know.
Yeah.
But no, he found a polyp in my stomach and he's the hero. That's the way I took it.
But you had already
started feeling better. I already self-diagnosed finally what the fuck I think was going on.
Yeah.
And going back to to you, like you can't get into a patient's head.
No.
But it's all about talking it out and getting it out and realizing and problem solving.
Problem solving and also patterns of behavior. It's kind of like dating. It's like, well, if you keep trying to date the same type of person and it's not working out, what's the factor? You know, it's like, oh, if you keep going to crowded, noisy, screamo shows and your head hurts, maybe you stop going to those. But if you continuously have this pattern and you're not right, like, and it sounds almost obvious when I say it right now, but it's not obvious to people, their patterns and what they do. So when you talk to someone, especially that has an objective opinion, sometimes it's easier for people to listen to you versus, I don't know, your sister or your cousin or your best friend that's like, there she goes again, trying to do this and it's not gonna work. And it's like, hold on, versus someone with a gentle tone that doesn't know you and utilizing words and theories with you to recognize, well, maybe this is the unhealthy pattern. Versus, you know, your best friend since kindergarten being like, yeah, I heard this before.
Well, being a bartender, I hear that shit all the time.
I'm sure.
You know, I mean, somebody will go to the bathroom and the other person's like, fucking here we go again with her or him or whoever.
I'm
and it's
sure
just
you've
like,
heard that for
like,
decades.
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't date myself here, but yes, decades, you are correct.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's and I don't know, man. I like I said, I hear it even when I'm not working. You know,
Yes.
I just hear people, you know, how they talk about other people. And I think there's not one person in the world that's not at some point guilty of it.
1,000%.
You know what I mean? So, like, you know.
Malicious
whatever.
or not. And
right. I mean,
yeah.
people talk. People love to talk for the most part. And sometimes you run out of things to talk about, or you self-deflect. And you talk about other people's problems instead of your own, or
Absolutely.
or about the big Celtics win last night. You know, there's like a lot of things you could talk. Was that a segue? No.
Do I sense a segue? Could be.
I want to talk a couple more things before we get into the other bullshit.
Yeah, we have things to say.
So I have, sleep, which we kind of went over. Honestly, I don't know.
I remember that from last year.
Yeah. I mean, it's just been a life problem. But rest is kind of how I manage it.
Yeah.
I like to not say I'm lazy sometimes, but at the same time, like when you get an hour of sleep at night, like I just kind of, I don't know, like your body needs to rest and
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so happy that you're bringing this up because so many people think that resting is laziness, but you don't need to earn rest. And we need to rest to do our jobs and to function and to breathe. And with especially living where we live in Connecticut, New York, Boston, these are all hustle cities and hustle culture and build your empire. And I actually had a friend who, in a very positive way, said to me, oh yeah, build your empire. And I looked at him and I said, I understand what you're saying to me, but that sounds exhausting.
Right.
I don't want an empire. I want to be healthy, happy, and other than that, like, everything else is bonus. But when we have this hustle culture, work, go, work your 90 hours a week, when we get 20 minutes to sit down, it's like, I should be doing something.
Right.
Oh my God, just saying that, I'm exhausted.
Right.
So no, it's not
like I have a brother, Justin.
Yeah.
And I always equate growing up is he was kind of my father and I was kind of my mother.
Okay.
And my father had an unreal work ethic. Like he just never took time off, 6 days a week.
Same.
He'd golf on Sundays. And he passed away, back in January. But like I just feel like he didn't see what's out in the world to see.
Yeah.
And it saddens me. I'm not saying he didn't have a great life and he had a huge family and all that, but like I'm my brother travels a little bit.
Okay.
But he also had the 3 kids he raised, so right. that but now he's got some, he's getting older and I hope he moves south for his well-being and all that. And then there's me and like my mom and my mom was always a hard worker as I am when I'm working.
Yes.
But at the same time, like she's just a very relaxed person now and that's kind of how I take my days off, and it's just funny how you can look back at, and my brother literally lived with my father growing up.
Yes.
So like,
I remember that.
So there's just a lot of things that go into it, but I didn't know which direction I was going with that, but
I got you.
Yeah.
Just look, you saying like you have 20 minutes to rest and.
No, I get 20 minutes of sleep.
No sleep.
I'll get a good 10 hours of rest.
10 hours of rest. But that's so important to you because you're not, especially because you're not getting sleep, which I highly encourage you to do the research. I'm sure you have, just like you did with the water, to figure out what was going on, and to shop doctors and whatnot. But
I really want. I want to get really like if I ever become really rich, I'm just gonna have a guy there in my room and just put me out.
Yeah.
Wake me up.
Yeah.
Of course, you are very groggy when you wake up after anesthesia.
Yes, I think I've gotten it maybe twice in my life, and
But it's like you're gonna feel a little warm. And I closed my eyes. I woke up in another room. Actually, I was a little nervous when I woke up. I thought I woke up mid-procedure.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I'm like, well, no one's here. No one's fucking here.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's scary in itself.
No, that's
yeah. But yeah,
definitely. So drink your alkaline water.
Yeah.
Get your sleep.
Water, and rest. And
rest.
You know, if you find I'll say when I finished grad school, I didn't know what to do with myself because every Sunday we'd always have like your major project for the week. So someone who has anxiety, I would push it off till Saturday night, and then I'd completely freak out. Get it all done successfully, I have to say. And the first Sunday that I didn't have schoolwork, I completely freaked out. I was like, "What? I should be doing something. Like I'm being so lazy and need to be productive. And I laugh saying this, but I'm like, should I apply for a PhD? Like, should I apply for I need to do something." And I was like, oh my God.
Right.
But between the pandemic and, a lot of life changes for myself, which is how I found myself in grad school, and the go and the worry and all of the things and the whole world changing. And this Sunday came that I had nothing to do, and I freaked out. I was like, I'm being so lazy. And I was like, oh my God, no. You're just resting. Like, you're exhausted. And people sometimes think, like, oh my God, why am I so tired? Like, I haven't been exercising, or I haven't been doing anything rigorous. And it's like, well, what's going on mentally and emotionally? Because those are the things that people can't measure, but they're so fatiguing. When you go through something like just even like anxiety, or like a loss, or anything that you're not at your calm, you are fatigued. And it could take a few weeks. Like, I just got a new job. So I left my old job, had to figure out my new job, which I love. Hope Counseling is amazing. But the past 2 weeks, I've been so tired. I'm like, what is happening? I was like, oh, because I've been mentally and emotionally drained from figuring out my next move and meeting new coworkers. And I feel like I'm almost, but not quite yet 40. July. Let's not rush it here. But I'm like, am I 100 years old? Because now I'm learning technology that I've never had, and I'm exhausted. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, oh, because you've been so stressed, and now you're calm now.
Right.
So now you need 2 days to sleep.
If I could get 2 days of sleep, that would be fucking phenomenal.
Same.
I just want 6. Yeah. I just want 6 hours. We'll end
rest. Please rest.
I know not everyone listens to my show. I get it.
Yeah.
But last week, I had Kyle Phillips on.
Okay.
And he was at the Vegas shooting. They call it 1 October.
Yes.
And I won't go into all that. If you want to hear about his harrowing story, it's fucking crazy. It was a great listen last week. But one of the things, and this is where you come in,
sure,
is how him and his wife coped.
Yeah. And
it was, a lot of PTSD in the beginning.
Yes.
And he said he went to a country concert in Boston a few months later.
Yeah.
And he did it because he thought, all right, I just got to get back on the horse.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And he said, oh my God, he's like, there's guy's jackhammering over here outside of TD Garden.
Right.
And that's freaking him out. And the pyrotechnics at the show. And he's like, whoa.
Yeah.
But you know what they do now? And I think this is so fucking fascinating and just awesome is every year now, they go to Vegas around that time.
Yeah.
They stay in the Mandalay Bay.
Wow.
On a room facing where the concert was at.
Yeah.
Not necessarily where the shooter was at,
Of course.
but just they just see it, and it's like therapeutic to them. And I guess my whole point of this is like everybody's different. Everyone needs to find their outlet and their way to cope with whether it's tragedy or something as crazy as what that was.
Right.
You know, we live around a lot of people that were at Sandy Hook. Like I know a few people
exactly
back in the day that I worked with. Actually, one was a Trumbull cop, and I think his cousin was Soto. Was that her last name?
Yeah,
Vicky Soto, yes. I worked with him. He was a DJ at the Marriott in Trumbull back in the day. Yeah. So it's just crazy. And when he told me that, and I was just like, to me, that's fucking balls.
Yeah.
Like I love that. Like fuck it, go right back to the scene of the crime. You know, and not. I guess that's the right term in that specific instance.
Yeah, absolutely. But
and he says he's still not over it. It's only been 7 years in October.
Well, he might not ever.
Well, he might never. Right.
And I'm very much doing air quotes. He might not ever be over it, but it's something that and there's I don't personally do it, but there's exposure therapy where whatever your fear is and whatnot, you work on it, whether small steps or big steps. It's, of course it's individualized, but you might not ever be over it, but the way you handle it, the way you process things, maybe the first time you go back into a room that there was something that caused trauma, you can't.
Right.
You have to turn around, maybe you're crying, maybe you're screaming, whatnot, and then you keep going back and you keep going back. And it doesn't take away the event that happens, but you're reframing how you go into it and knowing that what has happened and you're not taking that away again, but you're able to move forward. Yeah.
I was like I said, crazy story. I put my little fucking conspiracy spin on it, like I do with everything. And you know who needs therapy?
Tell me.
The liberal media.
Okay.
We actually chatted the other night. I saw you at Citrus.
Yeah.
You were feeling pretty good, I think.
I was good. Yeah.
You were in a good state.
Yeah.
And you actually brought it up. What about the Harrison Butkers?
Oh yes. So
now
that's been a hot topic from. These are not real facts, but 100 to 500 different perspectives on this one thing. Yeah.
Right. So just a couple. There's a Taylor Swift thing.
Well,
that's tied into this.
She is very much tied into many things
in
the world. That why not take a hand?
So the Swifties got all upset because I believe Bucker's teammates have heard him say that, or he's been quoted as saying, "My teammate's girlfriend." In reference to Taylor Swift.
Yes.
He would just call her, "Oh, that's my teammate's girlfriend."
Right. A lot of people.
And that's apparently very disrespectful to Swifties.
Yeah. So, of course, this is just my own take on this, but, the message that some people, because there's a million different ways to interpret one person's thing, is basically saying, women need to stay in the kitchen and bore babies and be barefoot and serve their man, right? That's one perspective that has been reiterated a lot. And Taylor Swift, for many, many, many people, represents this powerful woman in this society and doing all these incredible things for people. And for him to say, that's my teammate's girlfriend, for some people kind of belittles all of her accomplishments.
Right.
And what I will say, I will give my opinion on this, is he's not wrong. Because one of her identities is Travis Kelce's girlfriend.
Right.
One of her identities is a singer, and one of it is a daughter, and one of it is a voter, and one of it is like a person with blonde hair. So it very much goes back to like your perception of this person. Like for some people, like she is an idol and she is someone that has empowered them. So for him to reference her as like it's just one of the guy's girlfriends,
right,
is really, it really negatively impacts them. But at the same time,
why?
You can easily say like, you know, like, oh, that's Jeremy. He's the podcast host. It's like, well, he's also a brother. He's also a supporter. He's,
right,
you know,
right.
like there's so much intersectionality and like, because we're human beings are not one dimensional. Like we have so many identities, and I think it's very hard for people that view her in one way, and then this person, then their interpretation of his speech of being like, women can't get education and getting, but, and like we kind of talked about this for a second before we recorded, of you saying like, it's his beliefs in his, in a, is it Catholic or Christian? I can't remember.
Catholic. All right. So
Catholic.
Yeah. So here's
Please.
if you haven't heard about this story, I mean it's made it's not just a Sports Center story because it's a field goal kicker for the Chiefs,
right?
But it's a story that he is very Catholic, very a man of faith. Mm-hmm. And he was offered to give a commencement speech at a very heavily Catholic, well, it's not heavily, it's just Catholic college in like, I think in Missouri or something.
I believe so.
And I'll just read you one expert from his commencement speech. For the ladies present today, congratulations on an amazing accomplishment. You should be proud of all that you have achieved to this point in your young lives. I want to speak directly to you briefly because I think it is you, the woman, who have had the most diabolical lies told to you. How many of you are sitting here now about to cross this stage and thinking about all the promotions and titles you're going to get in your career? Some of you may go on to lead successful careers in the world, but I would venture to guess that the majority of you are most excited about your marriage and the children you will bring into this world. I mean, I guess the diabolical lies line is a little like over the top, but I know what he means by that. And so now the media takes it and runs with it, and basically he's telling everyone to be barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen and serve the man. But they always leave out the second part, what he followed up with. So, excuse my scrolling. So he follows up with, I can tell you that my beautiful wife, Isabel, would be the first to say her life truly started when she began living her vocation as a wife and a mother. I'm on the stage today and able to be the man that I am because I have a wife who leans into her vocation. I'm beyond blessed with the many talents, blah, 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 blah. Yes. So, this is, I grew up going to church a little bit when I was a kid. If you've listened to past shows, I'm not faith-based at all. But this was kind of what it was like back in the day. Yeah. And they still teach this kind of, you know, and we could do a whole 2-hour show on this guy's one commencement speech.
Maybe 3-hour show.
And
for sure.
One of the biggest problems with society today is broken homes. It's, you know, or just fatherless, you know, homes. And, you know, and he actually said later on when he was, I think, interviewed after, he's very fortunate. I think he said in his speech, he's very fortunate to have a job that he literally just kicks a ball, makes millions of dollars, and the wife was able to stay home. And he also understood that not everyone has those luxuries to stay home.
I think there's a couple of points that I do want to hit right now. And one is being, we also don't know their marriage and their relationship, of saying, okay, this is like, we don't know what goes on.
No fucking clue. I would never even thought about this brother until fucking...
Whether it's these people or the people that live next door to you, or, you know, the people in the next booth at a restaurant. But, you know, this, we don't know what their marriage, this conversation was. Who knows? She could have been like, I don't want kids. He probably
read it to her.
I don't want kids. This is not what I want. I want to go do this. And he said, this is what we're doing. And she said, okay, that could be one scenario. And I also hate
they met in like grade school too.
I also don't encourage being like the what ifs and like, because that just creates anxiety. But we also don't know if she was like, this is what I want to do. I've always wanted to be a mom. We have the financial means. This works for us. Like, there's so many different things. Like, we just don't know. But at the same time, another thing that people could hear is also being like, oh, well, this is the role that women are made for, is to be, I bet you're so happy when you get married and you have kids, but it's like, well, what if you don't value or want marriage? Or what if you don't want kids and you want to work? Like, are you saying that's a negative thing? Like, ooh, you don't have children, like, there's something wrong with you, there's something, or you're not married, like,
I don't have children.
I don't have children. I've chosen not to have children.
Right.
I love kids. I work with kids. I have a huge family. I love, anyone that knows me knows that I love kids, but I chose a long time ago that I didn't want my own children. Fun fact. But yeah, so there could be, you know, a couple different ways to interpret one person's viewpoint in what seems like very much his faith-based opinion. And that's his right.
And one, it is his right. And two, this is what's so wrong with our society, especially within the mainstream media, is they haven't shut the fuck up about this story.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, a teammate of Buckner's, Rashee Rice, was in a high-speed, he was in a Lamborghini in Dallas, Texas, racing another buddy of his. Both cars were releasing him. They fucking caused a 6-car pileup, and they walked away from they fled the scene of the crime. And then a month later, he's at a nightclub beating up some dude and punching a cameraman. And they're worried about what Buckner said at a Catholic guy said at a Catholic fucking college in a commencement speech. And they won't stop talking about it. Like, there's literally murderers in the NFL. There are rapists. There are wife beaters, girlfriend beaters. Dude, in all the sports, there was a I hate to say it, there was a ex-Boston Red Sox player that was just arrested for fucking soliciting a 14-year-old girl. Oh, it's fucking disgusting.
Yeah,
14-year-old girls. Like, I literally just dropped Braden off at Anchor Beach. It's his 8th grade dance tonight.
Oh, wow.
And everyone's 14 there. And I just thought in my head, like, who the fuck? There's some sick fucking people out there.
Yeah.
And they're trying to legalize some of this shit in other countries.
Yeah. And they have, or it's accepted, or, you know, there's, or like with, I don't know which name he goes by, and I'm quite frankly, I don't care. I grew up introduced as Puff Daddy, whatever. You want to call him Sean Combs.
Did you see that video?
I did.
That was pretty disturbing.
Yeah, a lot of times it's the apology after being caught. A lot of
and his apology was awful too.
Yeah.
He's like, I was fucked up.
Very disingenuous.
Yeah, he knows he's going away.
Right.
He fucking knows it.
Right.
That's a whole nother topic too.
Yeah, I mean, tack on another couple hours and maybe some more guests, and we could.
You have to start drinking, Katie.
I know, and I'm not. Maybe I'll have one after we're done.
Fine.
But
no pressure.
You know, it's one of those things where it's just practicing wellness, and some people call it self-care, and I like to say practicing your wellness, because actually, sports show. Primarily, but I always like to, depending on who I'm talking to, sports related, it's like, okay, like think of all, like I was gonna say the great players, but Larry Bird, like practiced. Yeah, I'm down.
My guy.
33. He practiced every day, so he was prepared for games. And that's like with life, if it's kind of like the ADLs, the activities of daily living that we practice, of like, okay, like. And some people struggle with this, and some people think it's common knowledge, but like getting up and brushing our teeth in the morning is a way we prepare for the day. And
make your bed
and brush your hair, brush your teeth. Whatever.
Teeth, yes, hair.
Whatever so it is that you do, but incorporating those practices help you be prepared for life. So incorporating movement. I don't care if it's fencing or walking or lifting or softball on a Wednesday. Like, I don't care what it is, but to move your body is to organize your mind. I gotta write that down. But anyway,
to move your
body is to organize your mind. And
this could be like like in 100 years, like the Katie Hayes quote.
I know. Well, keep it in mind. Don't take it.
It's recorded.
But yeah,
I just trademarked it for you.
It is, and I have always, whether the alarm goes off at 4:30 in the morning or it's 5 o'clock at night, and I'm just like, I don't want to do anything but taking a walk, or I have been in and out of CrossFit for 10 years, and I love it when I can go. Shout out Hybrid Athletics. But it always helps me organize, because when you're moving your body, you're gaining confidence, and it goes into other areas of your life. And I can remember, probably 10 years ago, I was so scared. I was so worried. I had a job interview at a different place. And I kind of laughed to myself driving on 95. Well, let's be real. I was sitting in traffic. And I was like, why are you so worried? Like, you just lifted so much more than you expected today. Like, you got this. Like, that confidence that I felt at 6:30 in the morning, lifting more weight than I had ever had, then transferred over to like this job interview that I was scared about. And I was just like, you have a job anyway. Like, if you get it, awesome, you want it. But if not, you still have a job. But like, you can do this because you did that. And I think it's really, and also I always say, like, movement is free medicine. And I mean that in any body. I know there are people with disabilities, and I know there are people with deficits. Any way you can move, typically is very positive.
From the bed to the couch.
Yeah, why not? And maybe you,
so I can rest.
Maybe you can march there. I don't know, but yeah, just movement is free medicine, and taking a walk is more powerful than people might think.
Oh, I love taking walks. Put my little AirPods in, and
put on a podcast, maybe.
Yeah. I'm a music guy when I walk.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, no, I like listening to my fucking death metal shit.
Yeah, anything that really. I mean, I always give the example, safely, please. But like, one thing that is, for me, pretty much inexpensive is going down to Dollar General, buying a candle, and having a lit candle on my kitchen table. To me, it just represents having a home and a solid roof over my head, and it brings comfort. And like, that's it. That's how I practice my wellness in one capacity, and just reiterating that it is Mental Health Awareness Month, and doing these things really can improve your life, your day-to-day. It just brings you a little bit of something. Maybe you have a stressful job or whatnot, and just doing these small things can be really beneficial.
Do you ever have a patient where you're just doing your professional stuff, and after you tell them something or suggest something, or you're getting to the root of the problem, are you ever like, I gotta try that on myself? Are you ever like, here I am talking to this guy or girl, and I just like kind of might have solved a little problem in my own head.
I kid you not. I'm so happy you brought this up, because I was scrolling through Instagram this morning, as one does, I do, and one of the memes or whatnot said, in light of Mental Health Awareness Month, I'm asking my therapist if she's been using her coping skills, just like she tells me.
Right.
And I have actually had this conversation with my own therapist, and I was like, I'm telling these people to do these things, and am I doing them? And she's Chrissy again. What's up? She's like, well, are you?
Right.
And I was like, lately I feel like I have not been. She's like, well, why don't you try it? And it's like, oh shoot, like, I forgot the reason I'm saying these things, aside from the fact that they're typically backed by statistics, is that they freaking work. So like, if I'm telling people or suggesting, because I don't give homework, but light suggestions, that's just personally how I do things. If I'm saying, like, just be aware of like your negative self-talk, and I'm sitting there the next day being like, God, you're so dumb. It's like, hold on. And, our voice is the voice we hear the most our entire life. So what are we telling ourselves? I keep telling myself I'm dumb because one day I miss a left-hand turn. I'm like, oh God, you're so stupid. And then it goes to the next thing. It's like, well, now major life events, especially with my teenagers, I'm like, well, now you're going to get ready for the SATs. And you're like, well, I'm going to fail this because I'm dumb. And then you want to go ask somebody out on a date. And you're like, well, they're going to be like, no, he's dumb. I'm not going to go do that. And so all of these things that we say to ourselves is what we start to believe. And we can really have a false sense of ourselves because of how the lack of connection we have with what we're saying and what we're retaining.
Right.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Mm-hmm. All right, want to do a little sports minute?
We could do a sports minute.
All right.
As
you know what's
as the playoffs are literally happening right now.
They're over your
recording
head.
Now.
It is 0-0.
I know, and I don't want to get
in.
distracted because I'm so into this conversation. But
no, we won't talk hockey. It's just starting.
No, we can. Yeah. I'm excited.
Well, I'm a Bruins fan, you obviously.
Are.
So we had the disappointing knockout last week. It was, I don't know who I'm rooting for in this series because I hate Florida. I hate Bennett, the guy that fucking took Marchand out.
Yeah, of course.
I would probably say I'm rooting for the Rangers. And it's not for, like, our friends.
Yes.
It's more for just beating Florida, and then the next round, I'm probably going to root for the Western Conference. I think of the last four, I'm rooting for Edmonton.
Okay.
I think Connor McDavid deserves one. They finally put a semi-decent team around him. But I want to talk about last night's basketball game.
Yeah.
So I got home, and what did I do yesterday? Oh, I was at the fundraiser for Hutch.
I was going to bring that up too, yeah.
Shout out to that. So for anyone that doesn't, is not from the area, a good friend of ours, a bartender at Archie Moore's, got into I think he hit a deer or something. I knew a really bad car accident about a month ago, and they did a fundraiser, and all the bartenders donated their tips, and we went down, and it was packed. Obviously, it was great turnout, a lot of raffle prizes, and Hutch was there, and I hadn't seen him since, and he looked great. He was, he had a little cane, but other than that, he's walking, and he had a big smile on his face.
Yeah.
So I got home from that, and the Celtics were on. And so it's game one. It's just like the Eastern Conference Finals of hockey. And 4 wins were in the finals. And this shit fucking takes forever. It's 2 months of playoffs. It's fucking crazy.
I was thinking about that yesterday. I'm like,
each series is 2 weeks long, and there's 4 series.
Exactly. It's like it's June next week for anyone that
the finals don't start till June.
Calendar.
Yeah. So the Celtics were up and down, and then they got lucky in the end. But Jaylen Brown hit a 3-pointer with like 5 seconds left to tie the game and send it to overtime. Wow. And I actually asked my girlfriend this morning, I said, did you hear me like screaming last night from the couch? Because I was drinking a little bourbon and feeling good from the fundraiser. And he hit that 3, and this is the power of sports. If you're a sports fan, you know what I'm talking about. You feel like a kid again.
Yeah.
It's like you can't get that emotion watching, Survivor. Or some reality. Like sports is like the truest reality show. It's the original reality show, and a lot of people complain about referees and players, but but that was like I had this like raw emotion last night, and I had been drinking, but it just and she's like, I was fucking sleeping, I didn't hear you. I'm like, oh yeah, you're a sleeper. Oh, it must be nice. And so the Celtics pulled out a big overtime win, and all the national media is like, well, they should have won. Everyone expects the Celtics to win by like 30 points every game. It's just you realize these players on the other team are fucking good.
Yeah.
They're good.
There's a reason they're all there.
Yeah, they're all there. There's a reason they're down to the Final Four.
Yeah.
They're all fucking good. They all shoot lights out. And so we'll see how that all plays out.
Yeah.
And the hockey, we'll see how that plays out. I'm sure I'll talk about it a lot more next couple weeks coming up.
I'm sure it'll be the theme of some of the episodes.
Yeah.
For sure.
But
yeah.
Did you see so I did the show last week, and then like literally I always do a show like something's going to happen tomorrow or Friday. So by the time I get to it, but by the time I get to the following Wednesday or Tuesday, when it's like the story's already old, but the Scotty Scheffler shit. Do you know who that is? He's the number one golfer in the world.
Oh yes,
the one that got arrested.
Yes.
Right?
For a second, I was gonna be like, honestly, no.
That's all right. That's all right.
Yes, I have. I've seen the things on like Instagram or something.
Yeah. I literally follow, there's some Twitter pages I follow, and one of them was like, it's called PGA Tour, but it's like a parody account.
Oh, okay. Oh boy.
So, like, it happened like early Friday morning, and I wake up to a notification, and it's actually the PGA account I follow, not the parody one.
Okay.
Which is kind of confusing on Twitter because, like, AOC has her account, and then there's a parody one of her.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm not really sure which one it is because she says some of the fucking wackiest shit that you could be like, she might have said that. Is this the parody account or not?
Right. It's kind of like when you see the headlines and you're like, wait, is this true? And it's the Onion.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
The Babylon Bee or something.
Yeah.
So this thing comes through and it's like, it just says Scotty Scheffler makes his tee time after morning arrest.
Yes.
And I'm like, no, that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And sure enough, like I turn on the TV and I'm like, this really fucking happened.
Right.
And of course, there's no body cam footage of it. Of course, I think, my guess is they drop all charges because they already pushed back the arraignment date. Like, what are we even doing here? That dude like jumped on his car for what? It was like an ego. It was a cop ego thing. Like, I told you to stop, man. Yeah. You didn't stop. Like, and Scheffler is speaking of faith-based people.
Yes.
He's very religious.
Yes.
I mean, just had a baby. Missed the tournament because of it, and it's just like the guy's was just confused. There was fucking police lights everywhere.
Yeah.
Whatever. Just but he's not the kind of guy that's going to pull out, I'm Scotty Scheffler at the PGA Championship.
No.
He didn't fucking pull his name. He didn't use his name. He didn't do anything. And
because at the end of the day,
that's the kind of person he is.
What is happening.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, I get pulled over in Milford, I'm going to fucking scream every cop's name I know. This is a funny story. So I once got pulled over. I was actually driving. You know where I live in New Haven Ave?
I do.
All right, so I'm there and I'm going to dive bar.
Oh, gotcha.
It's like 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
And it's
haven't had a drink.
One road and you turn into the parking.
That's it. So I'm just about getting to the West Haven border right by, and I look up and there's lights.
Sure.
Motherfucker, what the fuck? I knew I wasn't speeding.
Right.
I was behind 2 other cars.
Yep.
So he pulls me over. Whatever, I got my shit ready. He walks to the door. He looks and he's like, "Oh, Chair, what's going on?" And I'm like, I won't say the officer's name.
No, for
And I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" And he's like, "Oh, fuck." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Well, I gotta run your shit because I already called in the license plate." I said, "Do what you gotta do." I go, "Why'd you pull me over?"
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, you were on your cell phone." I go, "No, I wasn't." He goes, "Yeah, you were, but I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to give you a ticket. I just got to run your plate." Right. And I said, "I don't have my cell phone on me."
Stop.
And you just made me realize I didn't.
Wow.
He's like, "Maybe that was the car in front of you." And I'm like, I didn't really care because I knew him, and I was just like, whatever. And he's like, "I gotta run it." And everything was clean, whatever. And he brings it back. He's like, "Where you heading?" I go, "Back to get my phone. Then I'm going to dive bar."
Yeah, you're like, actually, thank you for this because now I recognize I have to turn around. Yeah.
But so I'm loving sports, and Scheffler hopefully gets off. And
I mean, it's a great time in sports because the playoffs just in any sport really, but they just.
We know it's going to suck.
Bring it up.
This shit's going to end in like 3-4 weeks.
I know.
And then it's just baseball until fucking Labor Day. And I love baseball, but my Red Sox suck. So it's like, it's probably like the most time when I'll pick a couple Netflix shows and I'll actually sit down with my girlfriend.
What are you thinking about for Netflix?
She, I don't know. I haven't watched her in a while, but she, she works in a nurse's office. So they're always, what do they, back when I'm 10 years, almost a little over 10 years older than me. But they called it water cooler TV back in the day. You remember that term?
I do.
When everyone gathered around the water cooler in the office and talked about Survivor last night or whatever. So she's always got suggestions from there. But there's I like the documentary series on there.
Okay.
I find their movies like their movies like Mark Wahlberg or Adam, whatever the big actors that they sign on to do like a 5-movie thing.
Right.
I just think they're so poorly produced. I mean, some of them are okay. Like even like Bill Burr's movie, I thought I was so excited to watch it, and I was just eh.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like his first directorial debut, but I think the Sandler movies are kind of eh.
I haven't watched them.
They're just it's like if you see like Grown Ups or
Yeah.
or Happy Gilmore
Yeah.
and
Billy
just
Madison.
not even like the content of the movie. It's just how it's produced,
The production
and portrayed to you just seems like wow, like
Yeah.
you guys aren't a movie production company.
Yeah. Well,
You guys are a streaming service.
I haven't been watching a lot of stuff like that because I am back to being a proud library card carrying member.
They still have that?
Sure do.
Wow.
I walked in there and they did not think I was funny, and I thought I was hilarious. And I said, I'm not sure if you can pull up my records from '89, but I have had an account and got zero. I was like, okay. Well,
what if he pulled it up and he still had an overdue book and he's like, yeah, that'll be $742. Thank
I'm
you.
like, oh my God, that's it?
Yeah, you think you're funny, sweetie?
Yeah, I'm like, oh no,
That was a joke.
I spelled Caitlin with a C and not a K. No, but it's so funny because it's like I'm a resident of Milford. I pay my taxes, so it's not free, but it's free.
Right.
It's like, and it's given me something else to do than.
Do you actually need a library card or just proof that you live in Milford? Just a driver's license?
I didn't even think about it. I just
got my fucking beach sticker for the first time ever.
Oh yeah. Beach sticker
I'm like,
season.
dude, I can go anywhere now. Look at me.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And some police officers say you need the beach sticker, and some say, oh, you haven't gone down there yet. Don't worry, just put your registration in your car, and it's fine. We can run it that way. But then.
Get out of your car.
Other officers say, no, you need to move your car right now. So
right.
I'm not sure what's happening there. But Milford Public Library, shout out. I'm there. I probably go like once a week. And,
what are you reading right now?
you know what? I had to take a brief pause from the psychology books. So I'm actually, I am not being paid by any means, but Colleen Hoover, she does the fiction, and I read It Ends With Us. It's a two-parter, but coincidentally, the trailer for the movie just came out the other day, and that drops in August. So
is that who's in that?
Blake Lively.
Is
the main.
Yeah.
Looks great. I'm very much a read the book first and then see the movie. But if you're not. I don't know. There's something about going to the library, kind of just slowing down time.
The Dewey Decimal System.
Yeah, I mean.
Remember, do they still do the microfilm or the microfiche? What was it called?
Microfiche, yeah.
Microfiche?
Yeah.
I used to do like school reports, so anyone, all the younger people listening.
Not a clue.
It was like this big like magnifying thing of like film almost, and it would hold old newspapers, and you could go research something, and you would like really run it through here, and this big like monitor would show you it enlarged for you.
I'm not even sure if you don't know what we're talking about. It has nothing to do, but kind of like a smart board,
it's
like, but not. But that's what it is. But it's just
now you just have the phone and you just Google something and it's fucking right there for you.
It's just kind of nice to it kind of ties back into the slowing down and resting. It's really nice to just go into the library
and it's quiet
and get a book and
it's quiet.
and to use your imagination of picturing these things. It's great. Yeah.
I've never stepped foot. This is not true. No, I have. But I wasn't there for the library. I was there. Yeah. I was in the library once, and it was for a fake ID class.
Interesting.
For bars. So we all the area bars went in.
Thank you for saying it was for bars. You are creating them.
It was like some cop from like Fairfield, chief of police, and he, this is kind of right. This is about a good 12 to 15, right when these IDs from China were coming out.
Yep.
And these kids for like $100 would go online, and these things were like
so scary,
legit.
Oh, I'm sure.
And we didn't have the ID scanners at the time, which they're like disinfected. They'll get 99.9% of them.
Yeah.
Like every once in a while, so if anyone's listening that's not 21 yet, the best fake ID to use is hopefully you got an older brother or sister that you look like,
but you're not using them. And please make positive choices.
Well, definitely don't come to Stonebridge because you will get arrested. That is fact. That is fact. We are tightly sealed more than I think Foxwoods and Mohegan.
I 100% believe that.
Cameras and ID systems, and we don't fuck around with that shit. There's just too much at stake.
Yeah.
And so anyway, like we're at this class at the library, and this guy, there was some bar, I can't remember the name of it, it's definitely no longer in existence, but it was like a college bar, and he had a fucking bag.
Oh my God.
It was 185 fake IDs.
God, I wish I could remember the name of it.
They seized in one night at this club that was somewhere down in the Black Rock area or something.
That's what I'm picturing. The Field?
No. This was, it was like,
Chubby?
I can't even remember.
I know.
I don't think I'd never been there. But yeah, it was
That's
just
wild.
And he was just like, he just like passed it, like he like gave a stack of like 10 to everybody. Just let's look through these and see what you can find out is fake. And we learned about the New York IDs and what to spot and whatever, all this crazy stuff. But that was the last time I was ever at the library.
Yeah, no, I would highly recommend going and supporting.
Do you have a librarian you can shout out here?
You know what? I don't, but honestly, all of my poor jokes aside, they were fantastic, and they could tell that I truly was so excited to go back. And the library card, actually you get one for your wallet and one for your keychain, because you just scan it like you're at Stop and Shop or at the gym, and it's great. It's got a picture of beautiful Charles Island on it in the water. So yeah, I would highly shout out to all libraries. I don't want it to be a dying breed. Please keep them around. But yeah, they're fantastic. And you know what? If they don't have what you need, they'll call another library for you. Yeah, they're very helpful.
Wow. Yeah. The power of the phone.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of people.
Who knew? Going back to basics.
All right, Katie, thank you so much. It is still 0-0, just so you know.
Thank you.
Over your head here. About 6 minutes to go in the first period.
I will watch that very soon.
Yes.
No, I love coming here. If you couldn't tell, I love talking about mental health and how, we can help each other and help ourselves.
I think it's, if anyone, this never really happens. People listen to the show and they move on to the next show. But if anyone ever approached me, and this actually happened once.
Okay.
We've talked.
Oh yes, we have.
But I'm free to give your contact information.
Yeah.
Not that you would be their therapist, but
no, but I can absolutely assist.
Right.
And and in our as we wrap up, as I would say, in a session, if you feel like you are struggling, please reach out. Jeremy's always said to reach out to him.
Yeah.
Myself, a trusted person in your life, because we want you here. You are worth everything, and
if there's any Ranger fans out there, that should they lose one of the next 2 rounds and you need to talk, fuck you, I'm not talking to you. You can fucking take that loss. You can take that big fucking L.
To assist in those words, and of course it's all in good fun of what he's saying. But truly reach out, because you are worth the world, and you can roll your eyes as you're listening. It's totally fine, but at the end of the day, it's the truth. And we want to see you here. There's a lot of hotlines, suicide hotlines. Yeah, 211. And all sorts of stuff. There's many things at your disposal, and I'll end on this note. Yeah. Never be embarrassed or have self-shame or about having anxiety or depression or seeing a therapist. It's just anything. You'd be surprised how many people see therapists. Yeah. And it may just be to talk. Yeah, and it can be more. It can be anything you struggle with, bipolar and trauma and schizophrenia. It's anything that you feel doesn't feel right to you. Please reach out to any safe person in your life. Yeah, or which is here, or your local bartender. Yeah, they're very good therapists. Just Jeremy to help get professionals. I do charge, though. It's a minimum 20% tip. Thank you. Katie, thanks again. Thank you so much. We'll do this again next year. We will. And who the fuck knows what's going to happen in the next year. But, we don't know. We sure don't. But we could have a new president, or an old president, I should say. Or both. A new old president. Or an old new president. We don't know. Yeah, anything can happen. Who knows? Maybe Kennedy sneaks in. We truly don't know. That's why we are prepared.
All right, I have no guests lined up next week yet, so I got a couple on the hook.
Yeah.
So can't promote anything for next week, but in a couple weeks, I'm very excited to have my friends from the band Ink coming on the show. Ink is a local, I would say, hard rock, not heavy metal, hard rock band that used to play at Daniel Street back in the day.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Yeah, little 3-piece guys, awesome dudes. Can't wait to have them on. They got a new album and music video coming out, and these guys they're awesome. I haven't seen them since Daniel Street closed. We haven't had them at Stonebridge because they're just they don't really fit the outdoor.
Yeah.
Poppy Nashville night kind of shit. So listen to them in a couple weeks, and I will talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Katie.